In 2025, the sound of war no longer begins with a roar. It begins with a whisper, a silent signal pulsing through a web of satellites, algorithms, and autonomous systems that move faster than human thought. The battlefields of the 21st century have changed, and so too has the nation that fights upon them. The United States Armed Forces, long defined by its tanks, ships, and fighter jets, is transforming into something more fluid, more connected, and more unpredictable than ever before. For generations, America's military power was measured in steel and manpower, the size of its fleets, the range of its bombers, the number of soldiers it could deploy overseas. But that equation no longer holds. The new currency of power is data. Commanders now speak of decision advantage, the ability to sense, process, and act faster than any adversary. Every branch of the military is being rewired around this idea. At the heart of this transformation is the Joint All-Domain Command and Control System, JADC2, an ambitious effort to link every sensor, shooter, and satellite into a single responsive network. In the old wars, information moved up and down the chain of command. Now it moves everywhere, all at once. A pilot can see what a soldier on the ground sees. A destroyer at sea can coordinate in real time with a drone half a world away. The fog of war is thinning, replaced by an ocean of information, though even that brings new risks. The U.S. military is not just adapting to technology, it's redefining its relationship with it. Artificial intelligence has become the silent partner in nearly every operation. AI models sift through satellite imagery, spotting missile launchers before the human eye can detect them. Predictive algorithms monitor cyber networks for anomalies, flagging digital intrusions before they unfold. Even logistics, once the unglamorous backbone of war, is being reshaped by machine learning, optimizing fuel routes, maintenance schedules, and supply chains that stretch across continents. But behind every breakthrough lies a question. How much control should machines have over human decisions? In 2025, that question is no longer theoretical. Autonomous drones now fly reconnaissance missions without direct pilots. Swarm technologies allow dozens of small, cheap UAVs to coordinate as one, overwhelming defenses through sheer intelligence and numbers. The Pentagon insists that humans will always remain in the loop. But as the pace of battle accelerates, that loop grows tighter, the margin for reflection smaller. This shift didn't happen overnight. The roots go back decades, to the First Gulf War, when precision-guided munitions and GPS defined what became known as the revolution in military affairs. Then to the post-9/11 era, when drones transformed counterterrorism and surveillance. Each conflict left its mark, pushing the U.S. military deeper into the digital realm. But those wars were fought against insurgents and extremists. The new era is defined by near-peer competition, China, Russia, and the race for technological dominance. In the Pacific, the U.S. Navy faces the challenge of deterring an adversary that has grown more sophisticated, more assertive, and more capable. Hypersonic missiles threaten to outrun traditional defenses. Artificial islands bristle with radar arrays and anti-ship batteries. In response, American strategy is shifting from concentrated power to distributed resilience, smaller, faster, networked fleets capable of scattering and surviving. The Navy's next-generation frigates, unmanned surface vessels, and undersea drones are designed to blur the line between manned and unmanned warfare, turning the ocean into a living web of sensors and shooters. On land, the Army is reimagining itself as a multi-domain force, less focused on occupying territory, more focused on creating windows of advantage across cyberspace, space, and the electromagnetic spectrum. Its new modernization priorities, long-range precision fires, next-gen combat vehicles, air and missile defense, soldier lethality, and the network, all serve a single purpose: to outthink and outpace any enemy. Soldiers now train alongside robotic teammates. Exoskeletons and augmented reality headsets are being tested to enhance awareness and reduce fatigue. The infantryman of the future is not just stronger. He's more connected, part of a mesh of intelligence that extends from the ground to the stars. The Air Force, too, is transforming. The F-35 remains the symbol of air dominance, but the focus is shifting toward what S called collaborative combat aircraft, drones that fly alongside crewed jets, sharing targeting data, and taking on the riskiest missions. It's a vision of manned-unmanned teaming that redefines the very concept of the pilot. Beyond that, hypersonic weapons promise to strike anywhere on Earth within minutes, compressing the decision window of any potential conflict. In orbit, the Space Force, once dismissed by skeptics, has become indispensable. Every operation now depends on space-based assets, communications, navigation, intelligence, and missile warning. Yet those same satellites are vulnerable, hunted by anti-satellite missiles and cyber attacks. The Space Force of 2025 operates in a domain that is no longer peaceful or abstract. It is contested, crowded, and vital. Guardians train not just to defend assets, but to ensure that America's eyes and ears in space never go blind. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the digital world, the Cyber Command is waging battles that the public never sees. Attacks unfold in milliseconds against power grids, command networks, and supply chains. In this realm, deterrence doesn't rely on nuclear stockpiles or visible troop movements. It depends on resilience, redundancy, and the ability to strike back with precision, often without attribution. In 2025, cyber warfare is not the future. It's the present, shaping geopolitics in real time. But technology is only half the story. The other half is human. The modern American warrior faces a paradox, surrounded by more tools and intelligence than ever before, yet burdened by the complexity those tools bring. Training now extends beyond marksmanship and tactics. It includes coding, data analysis, and ethical decision-making in the age of AI. Mental resilience has become as critical as physical strength. The Pentagon-ES focus on mental health and family stability reflects a hard truth learned over decades of conflict. That readiness begins not just in boot camps, but in the quiet moments at home. Recruitment itself is evolving. The military of 2025 competes with Silicon Valley for the same minds, coders, engineers, cyber analysts. Incentives, culture, and mission must align in new ways to attract a generation raised on connectivity and autonomy. Some join for patriotism, others for purpose, for the chance to shape the frontier where humanity and technology converge. In laboratories from Arlington to Austin, innovation commands are accelerating the cycle between concept and deployment. Prototypes once trapped in bureaucracy now reach the field in months, not years. The Defense Innovation Unit and AFWorks, among others, bridge the gap between startups and soldiers, channeling civilian ingenuity into defense realities. The old image of the Pentagon as a slow-moving giant is fading. Necessity has forced it to become faster, leaner, more experimental. Yet for all the advances, uncertainty remains. Technology levels the playing field as much as it tilts it. Drones that once gave the US an unmatched advantage are now cheap and global. Artificial intelligence, once a niche capability, is spreading across borders and battlefields. The line between defense and offense, civilian and military, is blurring. The threat no longer wears a uniform or waves a flag. It can emerge from a basement server farm or an orbiting satellite. Through it all, one constant endures: the weight of responsibility carried by those who serve. Whether stationed on a destroyer in the Pacific, operating a cyber defense center in Maryland, or piloting a drone from Nevada, each member of the U.S. Armed Forces stands at the intersection of tradition and transformation. They are heirs to the legacy of past wars, yet pioneers of conflicts still unimagined. In this age of algorithms and autonomy, the moral compass of the human being remains irreplaceable. Technology can extend reach, amplify power, and shorten wars, but it cannot replace judgment, compassion, or conscience. The future of warfare will test not just machines, but the humanity of those who command them. And as America looks toward that future, uncertain, volatile, yet full of possibility, its armed forces carry forward a singular promise: that no matter how the tools of war evolve, the purpose of defending freedom will not. Because even in the silence of a digital battlefield, even in the hum of drones and the glow of satellites, there remains a heartbeat, steady, human, and unyielding, guiding the most powerful military on Earth toward whatever tomorrow brings. The future of war may be written in code, but its meaning will always be written in courage.